Well, again, as a community bank, we're always looking for ways to help our customers meet their financial goals. And one of the most important financial goals many of our, especially younger customers, have is to get a college education so that they can get a solid career started and be on sound financial footing throughout the rest of their lives. When you're raising your children, it costs a lot of money. And I saw a statistic that it costs about $250,000 to raise your child. Well, while you're spending that $250,000 on each child, you don't have a lot of money to put away. So again, a high percentage of people have to seek other ways of financing their children's education because you simply can't do it as a parent. It's impossible. And I certainly understand that grind because I was there and still am there, as we still have a child that we have that's starting college this fall. So we certainly understand and empathize with other parents and students that are looking for ways to reasonably fund an education. There's not too many students who are going to get out of college today, given the increases in tuition over the last 20 years. Not many students are going to be able to fully fund an education without some kind of help. And again, I encourage parents to start doing research on college funding as soon as they possibly can. As soon as your kid hits high school, it's up to you to help them try to figure out how they're going to do that. Because again, it's a confusing world and there's so much out there. The more you can know, the more prepared you will be for when that day comes. And it comes fast, especially as a parent. I have found that if you wait until the last minute, you may fall into that category where your child is borrowing more money than they should to get through college. If you plan early, college is not cheap, but it's affordable and fundable without going too far into debt. Because part of the process of funding an education isn't just student loans. That's a small piece. Students need to be aware that there's just a wealth of scholarships out there that they can apply for, but they have to be prepared for those. If you know what's out there and you plan, relatively long-term over that 4-year period, understanding that you need to have some savings set aside, you need to encourage your children to work and set aside some money, you need to know what the programs are available through the federal programs, you need to know what's available privately if you can't quite have enough money yourself. The proper application for the private student loan is what we call gap funding. Mm-hmm. That's after everything else has been applied and you have still some money left to pay. Okay, so that's after the application of federal student loans, that's after the application of scholarships and grants, and the application of what the parents are able to throw in if they have the wherewithal to be able to fund some of it, and what the student themselves is able to throw in there. If there's still a gap between tuition, fees, books, and all that stuff, and how much money you have, that's where you look for the private student loan. Well, we were approached in, I think, the summer of 2009 and presented with the opportunity of being involved in a new program called iHELP, which is a private student loan that the Student Loan Finance Corp and ReliMax Incorporated were putting together, and they were looking for banks that were interested in helping them get the program started. And that's one of the reasons First Dakota jumped into the program as early as we did. We just saw it as an important tool to help our customers, and it's also a tool that we can use to help other small community banks offer this product to their customers in South Dakota. I tell them that Student Loan Finance Corp is an expert in student loan finance, and that they will take the loan from beginning to end, basically from cradle to grave. They help process the application and do the disclosures and sign the paperwork, and they keep the file, and they collect the payments, and they work with the students, and they work through the collections process with students that might be having problems, and they offer the vehicles for trying to defer loans when those kind of things need to be done just because of circumstances that might happen out of someone's control. You know, I collect money for the bank, and I understand how difficult that can be sometimes when things happen to people that they didn't expect. That creates a financial crisis. Student Loan Finance Corp understands that. And if you don't understand, try to find a resource that will help you. iHELP is one of those. If you go to the iHELP website, there is just a wealth of information out there, not just about that loan, but about funding your child's education. Is it a good program? We really believe it is. It's just, again, a way to provide extra support to our customers and to other banks in our region who want to offer the same types of service to their customers as well. They want to make it a fair program for the student and the banks as well, so that the banks can make some profit while offering a great product to their students, but a fair product that the student understands and doesn't pay exorbitant interest rates or fees. Again, they've created a program that I think is one of the best out there for private student funding. Well, we just think it's a great program. First Dakota, we just like to be a player and a participant in programs that make sense both for us as a bank and for our customer base, and we think this is one of them.